So I want a living example of what that looks like. I'm going to ask Brett and Shailey to come up here. And where's the other mic? If we can dig that up. I'll look around the room, and I could bring every one of you up here. So many of you I could bring up, and you could give a similar type of testimony of what these guys are going to give. But I just wanted an example of what does this look like walking through stuff of life. So, Brett and Shailey. This is Brett and Shailey, everybody. They're our new youth pastors. They've been on the job 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Awesome. So, yeah, welcome to the deep end of the pool.
So Tony wanted us to come up and talk about the last 2 years and what we've been through, and I haven't shared this very publicly, so I'll try to get through without crying, and obviously you can't share that many details in a few minutes. So the short version is, a lot of you know that Brett used to play in the NFL, and we moved 14 times in 7 years of him playing. He was a backup. We bounced all over the place. And in 2011, we ended up here, and we did the School of Supernatural Life, and my heart was all in, and I wanted to stay. I was kind of at the place where I wasn't done with football, but I was done with moving, and I wanted to stay. And when God said that we were to go to Tampa so that he could play for the Buccaneers in 2012, my heart was just like, no, God, please tell him not to sign that contract. I don't want to leave. I want to stay here at Grace Center. And God spoke to me and said, would you please move out of my way? Would you please do this? So without understanding why, we packed up the U-Haul, and with our very last drop of savings, we headed down there. In football, you only get paid if you're on a roster for games, and Brett had been cut the last 3 years right before paychecks started, so we'd been living off of savings for a long time. So we spent our savings, we got down to Tampa, and he had 8 months of just amazing time with the Buccaneers. He had so much favor with the coach. He was the spiritual leader of the team. It was the best offseason he'd ever had. And we just, with all these new tools we'd gotten from the school, we were in this place of just declaring, this is going to happen. It's finally going to happen. And as he headed into the final preseason game, they told him that he got to be the starting quarterback for the whole game. And so the kids and I just started declaring life over him. We said, you're going to go in there. 7 was our number. It was our 7th year of marriage. His jersey number changed to 7. So we just said, you know what, you're going to throw 7 touchdowns, Daddy, and you're going to win this game, and it's going to be incredible. And as I did our finances, I was looking, and I realized our savings was going to run out the same week as that final game. And one of my friends at the time said, what would you do if he didn't make the team? Like, you're out of money. And with full faith, I said, God wouldn't let that happen. This is his dream. We fought for it for years, and he's had such a great preseason, and it's going to be amazing. So he flew up to D.C. and he played the Redskins, and I watched on television from our living room. And I watched as he went in and just got killed. His offensive line didn't show up for the game, and he literally physically got smashed over and over and over. And I was pacing our living room yelling out, God, send angels, send somebody, help a guy out. And he got sacked 8 times, threw no touchdowns, and we got killed. And he flew back the next morning, battered and bruised. And they called him in, and they said, we're so sorry, you've done an amazing job. And we love you, and we don't want to let you go, but we need space for a better offensive line. So even though you did nothing wrong, we've got to let you go. And he came home, and I just sat there in Tampa staring at our family. We have 2 kids, and I just thought, God, what are we going to do? So we prayed. We spent a lot of time talking with our mentors, and we finally decided we needed to come back home to Nashville. We had to sell our furniture, our kitchen table, and our couches and our living room set just to afford the U-Haul to come up here. And then once we got here, we had to bounce around from friend's house to friend's house to friend's house. And we have amazing friends. But it was a hard process because Brett started job interviews and over just got told, oh, we love you, you're amazing, we just don't have space for you. And so we just dug in and just started serving here and trying to, stay focused on trying to take care of our family in the midst of a really difficult situation. And I remember standing up here in worship one morning, and I fell apart on Christine. We were singing Come to Me by Bethel. And he talks about, I am your anchor in the wind and the waves. And I just thought, God, I need you right now. I need you to walk us through this. And in the midst of this, we had to sell more furniture just to be able to pay for our cell phone bills and things like that. And Brett finally got a job at Costco, so we were really relieved. But I would go to Costco at his lunch break and wait for him to come off of shift, and I'd watch as people would mistreat him and yell at him for putting his eggs in the cart wrong and things. And I just sat here going, God, what is happening? A few months ago, he was playing in NFL games with thousands of fans screaming his praises, and now here he is at Costco making just above minimum wage, getting yelled at for putting eggs in the cart wrong. The irony of life. So, as we snuck closer to Christmas, I got sick, the kids got sick, we had strep throat, we were just sort of falling apart, and we got to the breaking point one night where we literally were sitting in our car, we didn't know where we were going to sleep that night. Elle was sick, we didn't have enough money to go to the doctor, I was sick, and we were contagious, so obviously didn't feel comfortable asking anybody to let us stay with them. And somehow we ended up at this guy named Tony Wakefield's house. And we walked in, and I was so embarrassed and just falling apart. I had nothing. I couldn't do anything to take care of my kids or to take care of our own family. He was trying his hardest to provide for us. And we just walked in and fell into Tony's arms, and he just said, I don't care that you're sick, just come in, let us feed you. And they put us up in their house, and we ended up getting to stay in their spare room for Christmas. And we had friends coming to us, bringing us cash, saying, here, take care of your kids for Christmas. And it was so uncomfortable after having been in the NFL for 6 years around people who make millions of dollars to be accepting cash from friends. And thank you, all of you who did that. Many of you know what I'm talking about. And in the midst of this, our family was not in agreement with it. Our family kept saying over and over again, why aren't you coming home to Colorado? We'll take care of you. That's not your family. We're your family. So it just felt like it was coming from all angles. And then in the spring, I was driving up Hillsborough Road one morning, and I had this vision as I was driving of a serpent sneaking into my vision, and he just mocked me by saying, so it doesn't look like this Christian thing is working out too well for you, is it? And I burst out laughing out loud. I was like, are you kidding me? If I didn't have Jesus, there'd be no hope. There'd be nothing. It's working out pretty good because that's all I've got left. And it was as if this hatchet fell down and cut the head off that snake, and its body slithered away. That was the spring of 2013, and a lot of you have heard a lot of the other parts of the story. Brett ended up getting an amazing job with a construction company that provided a way for us to be small group leaders at the school. And we were given a house to stay in free of rent. We just do renovations to the house to pay for it. And little by little by little, we've been, making our way. But here we are, and it's home, and you guys are our family. And it's been a long road for 2 years, but that's it.